The interview you are about to watch is with a good friend of mine. His name is Jeff Fox, and he's the singer for a band called the Beowulf Project. But Jeff and I are great friends, and back in the 90s, we went to so many Warrant concerts together. It was amazing. But I wanted to do something to help promote his show. So there is a lot of sarcasm in this interview, but it was also a blast. So if you are in or around the Fargo area on Friday, October 17th, please come with me to the Aquarium to see the Beowulf Project. And I hope you enjoy this interview. The Beowulf Project are one of those bands that has been on the cusp of greatness ever since they formed in Devils Lake, North Dakota in 1990. And every time we thought they were about to break through to the mainstream, tragedy, fate, or the gods of rock found a way to intervene. But not before they released the debut album that had the underground rock world talking, 2003's aptly titled One Man's Justice. But they are back, playing the Aquarium in Fargo, North Dakota this Friday, October 17th. And we're here to talk to their enigmatic frontman, Jeff Fox, about the legend of the Beowulf Project right after this.
Like I said, if someone had said to me, well, Anthony's doing a YouTube channel and he's the new Metal Edge, I would be like, yep, that sounds about right. Once you sell your soul to the devil, you don't get refunds.
The hair metal guru from Warren to crew. The hair metal guru. Never forget Charlie too.
Jeff Fox! Holy shit! My brother in rock and roll, and from the band the Beowulf Project, but I just know you as the guy who you and I lived for Warrant concerts back in the day. And I'm so pumped that your band is coming to play at Fargo Friday night. Jeff, how's it going, man?
It is going amazing, Anthony. And it's so funny when you mention that intro, because it brings me back to when we first met. It was March of 1995 in my crappy apartment at UND. And people were making fun of Warrant. And then all of a sudden I hear this, they got a new one out. And I'm like, who knows about Ultraphobic? And I look and I see you there because we went to go see a Kiss cover band.
Yes.
Forks. And then we were talking about Ultraphobic and then Dog Eat Dog and our feigning acceptance for Cherry Pie in terms of a Warrant record. But we were both like, Ultraphobic just came out. And I'm like, duh, yeah. Are they playing around here? Because I think Great White had just played Grand Forks at Whiskey River.
Right.
Of you in the Red River Valley who know about that. So, but yeah, that was like, and then I think we ended up talking Ultraphobic the rest of the night and our favorite tunes from it.
And that was where, you and I developed this big kinship, even though even you were in Grand Forks, I'm in Fargo. For those of you watching that don't know, they're about 70 miles apart in North Dakota. But, to find somebody that was that passionate about Warrant was kind of rare in those times. So anyway, most of you, well, obviously you won't know this, but you and I just had this bond. And we had a couple other friends, Disco and Dave, and maybe rotating other. But we went to so many Warrant shows in those years in the 90s, whether they were in North Dakota. Sometimes we would travel to Minneapolis when you moved to Minneapolis.
We saw him in Mahnomen, Minnesota.
Yes, and so Jeff and I talked about you when I did my video about the death of Janie Lane and kind of how our paths. Because the date, and you and I went through a period where, life happened. You were in Minneapolis. I was in Fargo. We didn't talk for a long time. When Janie Lane died, I knew I would hear from you. You texted me. And anyway, so we had so many fond memories. And so it's a blast to have you here now to talk about your band coming to Fargo. I will be there at the Aquarium on the 17th. So,
Awesome.
how you guys haven't played for 15 years. How does it end up that you're back together and going to be doing the show at the Aquarium on Friday?
It's just kismet, I think, is that, I don't know, the universe working together, Anthony. And for those of you who are wondering if you're in the area wondering why we go, or if you're not in the area, you want to check us out. Big influences: AC/DC, Warrant. Some of the lyrics came from a relatively unknown but awesome band, The Pursuit of Happiness, out of California. I loved Anthrax. So there's a kind of that mix in there. And then my stage persona, if you will, Jamie Lane, the first time I saw them opening for Rat at the Red River Valley Fair in June of 1989, it was Rat, Great White, and Warrant. And when I saw Warrant opening for them, not to go down this trail, but I was literally like jaw dropped, like,
Yeah.
It was just, the rest of the bands are like, I was there to see Rat, and then Warrant, just, it wasn't even close.
Yeah.
In terms of performance. But yeah, we formed in Devil's Lake in the basement of Chris Levers' house. And the first tune we wrote was Trash Man, which is our biggest hit. Check it out. And we just enjoyed it. And then, we can go kind of more in the weeds from 1990 on, but it was really just a bunch of high school buddies getting together and jamming that really didn't have too much talent, but had a drive to do it and wanted to make asses of ourselves.
So how do you end up meeting? So it's Chris Levers, Keith Axman, Mike Handler, Jason Boyle, and you. Like, how do you guys end up like meeting and saying, "Hey, we're gonna do this. We're gonna put this band together"?
Through high school, there was I used to pretend to write songs, and then I said, well, why don't we get together? Like, Keith Axman had a drum set, so he was in the band already because of that. Levers had his own guitar and amp, so he was in the band just because he had that stuff. And then Mike Handler played drums, Jason Boyle wrote lyrics, and I sang. And Chris Levers, I have to hand it off to him. He's if any one of you guys are remembering, yes, that's the same Levers as Levers Grocery Markets in Jamestown, North Dakota, Grand Forks, Devil's Lake. Yes, it's that same Levers. But he wrote the riffs to Trash Man on that same day, and that's still easily our biggest number. I mean, it's not even close. So we scanned, and then there was in North Dakota, you start partying around the middle of March outside, even if it's 40 degrees, as long as there's no snow, you got a place to party.
You start partying in the middle of March, and when you're about 9 in North Dakota.
Very much so. So I talked one of my buddies in who had a cabin out at Wood Lake, North Dakota, and I'm like, hey, you're having a party, why don't we just play? No pressure. And we had one plug-in to plug everything in. So you just saw a chain of whatever you call those plug-ins things, and we played it. And the funniest part was we had a real asshole show up, and he's like, oh, you guys fucking suck, this is terrible. I can't believe you're playing. And
sorry I did that. I'd had too much to drink that night.
And then I was like, I'll never speak to that guy again. No. And then, it was this pseudo school bullying. We looked at him and we're like, so you drove 25 miles from Devil's Lake to here to tell us we suck? I guess, yeah, we're the idiots.
Yeah, right.
And then after that, college got in the way, but then Chris Levers was going to UND. Axman was going to Moorhead State. My buddy Pete Peterson joined the fold because he owned a base. He's from Greenbush. And I'm like, let's try to do our own show.
Yep.
So then in May of 91, we played at the Broadway Junction. We had to rent our own stage. We had to rent the hall. And so we just put it together with the Fargo legend Suspect. I assume they're still playing, Anthony. Have you seen them recently?
I haven't.
Okay.
I mean, they could be. I'm not as tuned into what's going on locally as I probably should be. But
yeah. So then we played there, and then
the Junction where you played in 91. That is what ended up becoming. Did that become the Aquarium?
Yes, I don't know when.
Okay.
And I don't make it up to Fargo and Grand Forks as much as I used to. But yeah, so we did that, and then after that, we played the Fargo Teamsters Hall in '95. And the interesting story about that, just so everyone, I really want everyone to come to the show because we put on a spectacle and we will continue to always do that. But the Teamsters, when we showed up and they started hearing us sound check, they're like, yeah, I don't think we want you guys to play here. And that was the legendary show that you missed. It was Beowulf, VI, and Full Fathom 5. I mean, that you can't put that bill together
How
today.
did I miss that? Like, where the fuck would I have been?
Well, if you remember, City Hall at that time really didn't like rockers in Fargo. They were this very much a conservative, they didn't like rock and roll.
Yeah.
So getting the word out when you are living in a town or a city where City Hall is constantly fighting you, we had it.
Yeah.
And I think, and just to give the middle finger to the city of Fargo at that time, we played The Right to Rock by Keel. We didn't care whose toes we stepped on or who we offended. This was our way of protesting that, that censorship. But so the Teamsters heard us sound check and they were like, yeah, maybe this wasn't such a good idea. But at the end of the show, they came to us and said, you guys can play here anytime. We're like, well, what's going on? Well, we ran out of pitchers. Our fans had drank all the pitchers. They could not keep enough pitchers of beer going. So, and of course, that always makes for a better show experience for the fan.
Obviously.
Yeah.
Obviously. So if I understand right, so after this epic show, I can't believe I wasn't at that show in January of '95.
Mm-hmm.
You guys kind of disband. What happened?
Well, I don't want to say egos got involved, but mine got involved. Life happened. People got married, started having kids and bullshit. And I bought a house, a very small house in Northeast Minneapolis. And I was sick and tired of trying to get Levers to show up with his bullshit. He's, I've got 2 kids at home. Cry me a river, and I live in Colorado. Boo fucking who, And then Keith Axman,
if you were dedicated to rock and roll, you would figure it out.
Once you sell your soul to the devil, you don't get refunds. So I was like, no, we're doing this. And so I put together a crackerjack band of Disco Berg, replacing Pete Peterson. He also had young ones at home and couldn't leave them for the rock and roll lifestyle. And then we got a drummer, Matt motherfucking Miles. And then on guitar, we got Aaron Groove Daddy Benz, who is a complete shredder. And I guarantee you guys, if you go on YouTube, we have a few videos out there. This guy can shred.
Okay.
And again, Minneapolis still wasn't maybe as open as they are now. And they also didn't want rock and roll in the neighborhoods. They're like, it's fine if you want to play in the rock and roll clubs, but we don't want neighborhoods to hear your sound. Yeah. And again, do you think we shied away from playing The Right to Rock that night, Anthony?
No.
Fuck no. No. We played.
Not going to let anybody keep your rock and roll fucking heart from burning like a flame. Holy shit.
No. And all my life, I've been fighting for it, So,
of course.
So that happened in 2002. And then there was a good chemistry there, and we recorded What You Have in Your Hands, which is One Man's Justice. It's probably not on the shelves, but I think we probably cleared around 3.5 million worldwide.
Okay.
From that record.
God dang.
Don't look for it in shelves. It's not there anymore.
Yeah.
But you can still stream it, It's still out there.
Okay. Anyway, yes, we're talking about One Man's Justice.
Yeah.
The album that again had fucking people talking, and I kind of got the cover up there. So tell me, how do you come up with that title, One Man's Justice?
Well, I think everyone remembers the MC Hammer, Brian Bosworth classic, One Man's Justice, the movie.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, you take somebody who had the charisma of, Brian Bosworth, and you take that with the acting skills and popularity of MC Hammer in 1994. That's dynamite on screen. I really recommend you guys going out there and renting that. Yeah. And then, there was a common problem, of average kids. And no, that's not me. I am not that kid on the cover. But there was a big problem with kids bringing PBR into schools. And we just wanted to capture that. especially that age, we just wanted to address that. We weren't discouraging it. We're not encouraging it. We're just saying it's an option for kids. You know, I'm not going to tell those kids how to live their life. If they
Right.
want to PBR to lunch, that's great. If they don't, hey, more power to them as well.
Rock and roll isn't about telling other people how to live.
Yeah. Last I heard, it wasn't.
I mean, that's the rumor floating around town anyway.
Yeah. So let me ask you a question, Anthony. Are we going to have any problems with City Hall this Friday?
I don't know. The preachers are out there. I heard there's going to be protests, like down with rock and roll, people trying to save your souls. And I'm just like, hey, man, if you can't rock in Fargo, I don't know if I want to live here anymore because my life is all about rock.
This show will be for you then, Anthony. We are going to make sure that we are playing loud and proud and that everyone is welcome. I know there's a lot of a division out there. I won't delve into that, but we are a band that unites.
Is the rumor true that you will be playing KLOL again in Fargo this Friday night?
We don't want to. We really thought that time had passed where we could stop playing that.
Yeah.
But things have changed, and now it's probably a more important message than ever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If
you watch the original video, I don't really think things have changed any from then, from when KLOL released that song. So it's still a big fight. We might send FU towards Tipper Gore. I don't.
Yeah.
So
the PMRC and Tipper Gore, fuck them.
PMRC and me, no go.
Yeah.
It's like oil and water, me and them. So
what was the reaction to your fans and to people in the media to One Man's Justice?
Well, the media will never get us. I think you're the rare exception. But the reception was generally positive. We had a big hit single out of there in our hit video, EverQuest. You can see that on YouTube.
Yep.
There's a full version out there. That turned out great. We'll be doing that. And we're going to be doing a theatrical production of that at the show. So world exclusive for your viewers there. But the reaction was positive. I mean, beyond the sales, that's really all we focused on was more how commercially popular we were.
Yeah.
It's not about integrity or following trends. It's about sales for us. So,
and about how you look on stage.
Well, of course. I
mean, obviously.
Yeah. So no, it was very well received, and we toured to promote that. We actually played the 7th Street Entry in Minneapolis.
The 7th Street Entry is a fucking legendary venue.
It is. Yeah. For those of you who don't know, if you watch, I mean, for me, I never thought my whole goal was I'm going to play First Avenue after watching Purple Rain. I'm like,
yeah.
And I think you'll agree with this, Anthony. If you're living in North Dakota, First Avenue, Minneapolis may have been a million miles away, even though it was 3 hours. It was just like a totally different world,
right,
from the farmlands of North Dakota.
Right.
So that was like a career highlight. We played the North by Northeast Festival. We actually had the cops called on us again. So just a coincidence that when we play, we get police called upon us. And their claim it was because I said the Effenheimer way too much in the middle of the day, broadcasting outside, and that people could hear it out from their windows in their apartments. Well, I'm sorry. If the fuck word offends you, maybe you shouldn't come out to our show. True. I think Danny Lane had that message at 1 or 2 of his shows.
That's right. If that offends you, just don't come.
Yep.
I'm not offended by it.
I guess they didn't really come. They were living there.
Okay.
Maybe that was more the issue, that they didn't actually ask to be invited. But anyway, immaterial to our conversation.
In Rocktober of 2010, you play your farewell show. What you think is your farewell show at the Terminal Bar? Like, what led to that?
Well, again, life getting in the way, but it's like, well, what more do we have to achieve? We've sold 4 or 7 million copies of our record. We've electrified stages across Minneapolis and Fargo. Yeah. What's left?
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, I look at some of these bands, and I think it's fair to put us in the same category, as your Metallicas, your Led Zeppelins. At some point, you've just done all you can do. there's no more stadiums to tour. There's no more records to sell. And like, let's go out on top. Let's play the Terminal Bar. And
Yeah.
for us, their plumbing was functioning almost at 100% that night. So
Right.
we weren't standing in feces
Right.
when you had to use the bathroom, just a little bit of pee-pee. And I think most people will tolerate that for rock and roll.
And if I can quote Def Leppard, sometimes it's better to burn out than fade away.
Yeah. And we just thought, you know what, from 1990 to 2010, that's a good 20-year number. Let's round it out and be done, and let everyone do their own musical projects after that. And I mean, at that time, disco was really getting into glass blowing, but he wasn't using his mouth to blow the glass. So we had to kind of distance ourselves from his passion. Groove Daddy, like I said, really, he started working for this guy, B. Madoff. And I guess that was 2007. He was working for him. And like I said, one of our shows was the Friends of Bernie Madoff Fest, which really, looking in hindsight, wasn't one of our better business decisions to
wasn't smart.
do. So, yeah. So we're just like distancing ourselves from that. And then my cousin Benny Catania, he's got his doctorate in classical guitar. I'm going to go back to this. If you guys want to see the best guitar playing in Minnesota and North Dakota, be there Friday night. I shit you not. Look at the videos. That's the proof. So yeah, he also wanted to, he was looking more into like tasteful animal photography, but in a boudoir sweat setting. So we weren't quite sure if that was animal erotica or bestiality. It's like, where do you separate that line?
Erotica sounds a little bit more normal, but
yeah, but it's so
not that I'm promoting either.
No, I'm just saying if that's your thing, more power to it. We were just concerned about the line of where that would intersect there.
Yeah.
So, we went our separate ways, and then it was difficult. There was probably about a period of 6 years of no contact. Once Disco started having health problems from his glass blowing.
Is he going to be blowing anything this Friday, or?
I'm not going to say he will, and I'm not going to say he won't.
Okay.
But he had some, complications from that job. So, I mean, he's since he only dabbles in it now.
Okay.
But he's got some very nice, I mean, look at this piece of glass he made. That's going to be for sale.
Okay.
I don't know if the camera picks up its majesticness, but yeah, it's a picture of the band. I don't know how he drew that, but those are anal blown stemless wine glasses from Disco Berg.
Anal blown.
Anal blown to add to your wine glass collection.
I'll be purchasing one on Friday.
Yeah, perfect. So yeah, that's kind of what happened in 2010. We just thought it was time to put the exclamation point on.
Then didn't you guys put out a live album?
Yes.
Totally live.
Yes. In 2020, with the state of the world where it was at that time, how can we cheer up the world? How can we bring it together when we're all apart?
Yeah.
And, ironically, maybe when all those people were dying, it wasn't the best title to name it, Terminally Live.
Yeah.
But we didn't care. We don't shy away from controversy, Anthony, and we never will. So we released that, and you got to hear some new songs on there, like Superhero, Good Time Rocker. If that's about as a throwback to the 80s rock scene as you can get. Mm-hmm. And then we did a song about believing in yourself for the youth.
They need that.
Yes, keep reaching. I mean, so many kids are reaching out to us saying that they're mixed up, they're confused, their mom and dads don't believe in them. What can they do? You keep reaching, man. Right. And we wanted to get that message of positivity to kind of counteract some of the Satanism we also have in our songs.
Yeah.
We wanted to appeal to everybody.
Did you ever get out of that satanic cult that you had joined in the mid 2000s? What happened with that?
I'm not, due to ongoing litigation, I'm not really at liberty to say what my involvement is. Yeah. But there will still be some satanic elements on Friday present. I mean, I came from the Devil's Lake Satans. That was my high school mascot.
That's no shit.
Yeah, that's a real name, by the way, folks. If you're wondering, no way, it's way. So yeah, there will be some satanic elements on Friday. I'm still authorized to do satanic rituals.
Okay.
Legally, I've been cleared to do that. It's just my cross promotion and doing that stuff is kind of caught up in legal mumbo jumbo.
I hear you. I hear
Yep.
you. And so apparently in 2022, your former drummer Matt had some medical issues. So that kind of inspired, I think, the reunion. What happened?
100%. So Matt had some prior health issues prior to 2022, but they were getting worse. And in I want to say around September of 22, his health issues had gotten worse, and we're like, well, we got to do something. We got to celebrate this guy, raise money for awareness for his issues. I'm not going to go into what those particular medical issues were out of respect for his family. But they were significant. And then, so I was actually working with Miles. I was actually calling venues. Like every guy in the band was like, yes, we're in. And then Matt couldn't play the show. So we were looking, still celebrate him, have him attend, but then we were looking for a drummer. And then in December of 22, he suddenly passed due to his health issues. And it just felt like for me personally, I didn't want to stop. I wanted to still do the show and honor him, celebrate him, because without him, we never would have had Terminally Alive. And the story about him in the band even is, we were working together at my job, and I just kind of dragged him over because he had nothing else to do. And then as soon as he showed up, whether he liked it or not, he was in the band. So, because he had drums, he owned his own drums, and his schedule was open. So, so we did that, and then we were looking around the cities, and then last November of 24, my friend Darby and I, Darby and Sater from Seducer, who actually played at the house show in 2002. Darby, we call it Darby Satan from Seducer. There was a band playing at the Aquarium in Fargo. And I'm like, oh, I've heard about that place, but I didn't know anything about it. So we went up to Fargo and the band canceled. But we're like, well, we're here. We've already paid for a hotel. And so we walk over to the Aquarium. I'm like, God damn, this place looks fucking familiar. Like I couldn't put and then I walked up the stairs to the venue. I'm like, holy shit. That's it. That's the place. That's the Broadway Junction.
Yep. And
then we ended up having a few cocktails with the owners of the bar, which were friends of Seducer. And they were like, yeah, come on. And, you kind of think that's like a bullshit. You're like, hey, yes, get out of here. We'll never respond. And yet they've been awesome to work with. They've been fantastic. So from basically November 24 until October of 25, we've been working on this gig, and now we're here. Yeah, that's how we got here. It's like deja vu. The first place we ever played outside of Devil's Lake, we're coming back to play it again 35 years later.
And the Aquarium that's kind of Fargo's legendary place. I've seen I'm kind of a big alt country fan besides all the rock that I like. I've seen Lucero there, one of my favorite bands.
Oh,
I've seen Jason Isbell, who's kind of gotten really big. But right after he got cleaned up, and I think right when he released his kind of comeback album, Southeastern, before it blew up, he played at the Aquarium, and there was like 70, 80, but it was, and then he became this big megastar shortly after that. Anyway, so the Aquarium is where a lot of bands before they kind of took off is where they played. So anyway, it's a really cool.
Yeah, we could be playing Shields Arena or the Fargo Civic, but we just thought, you know what? This is our treat to Fargo.
Yeah.
We want to keep it intimate for the hardcore fans and keep, will we accept fair other fans? Of course we will. But this is really for the hardcore fans. And we just didn't think getting on a stage with all the pyrotechnics and the trap boxes and all that stuff, we want to keep it simple and keep it intimate at the Aquarium.
And I've heard that, you're done with tour bus. You don't want to come off like a big cocky rock band,
No,
so you're not going to have a tour bus.
no.
There might be a limo or something. I mean, that's okay, but
Well, it might look like a Honda Pilot, but yeah, I mean, they've done great things with Honda Pilots,
sure.
in the years of 2014 through 2016,
Yeah.
you know.
And
So
you guys are doing a meet and greet, right, at
yeah,
Orange Records.
this now we got a lot of pressure about this from the industry. Live Nation's like, hey, you guys are coming back after 15 years. We gotta, the thing is VIP experiences. You charge them like a few $100s.
Yeah.
And we're listening to this pitch going, okay, yeah, Groove Daddy, he's just like, dollar bill, y'all, dollar bill, y'all. And we're like, Groove Daddy, you haven't been to Fargo. You don't know these fans. And Ben was like, hey, more money, more whores. And I get that. I'm not against that. But they were like, oh, $300 a pop. They can see the sound check. You guys can take pictures with them. They can ask questions. They can do all this stuff. And I'm like, $300? I'm like, no, we're a band of the people. We're a people's band.
Right.
We're going to go to Orange Records this Friday in Fargo, North Dakota from 2 to 3. We're doing a free VIP experience. We've got merchandise. Like I said, we've got this koozie with our picture on it.
Yeah.
Sorry to plug my stuff here, but we'll sign that stuff for you free of charge. 2 to 3 at Orange Records in Fargo. We'll also have a tour poster. We'll have a couple copies of the Beowulf One Man's Justice CD that I had to get out of storage. It was locked up pretty tightly, but I found some copies we can hand out or sell. And come out, say hi. I mean, it's perfect time. I know nobody's really working Friday afternoons anyway. Come out, say hi, and we'll be there.
I hope that you'll hold on to one of those One Man's Justice for me in case because
yes,
I'll be needing
absolutely.
one. And please autograph it.
Yes. Well, Disco likes to autograph it with a mixture of his bodily fluids.
Yeah.
Sometimes Groove Daddy adds to that. And then introducing our drummer, too, Stuart Stoneback, who has been a perfect fit to the band, coming in and stepping in some big shoes from Matt motherfucking Miles. But what you will see and experience at the VIP, I mean, it's a really chance for some quality one-on-one time with the band that, like I said, we just said, no, we're going to do a free VIP experience.
Wow. Because, I mean, you could be raking in big money with the amount that people around Fargo are willing to pay.
Yes. Well, just because you can make that money doesn't mean you should. We want those people spending their hard-earned money at the Aquarium, supporting other bands that are coming through, and also Orange Records, buy a record or two.
Okay. So that's Friday from 2 to 3. And
Yep.
then who's opening the show at the Aquarium Friday night?
Our longtime friends, Angry at Numbers. My good buddy, Mike Muehlhausen, otherwise known as Mike Rockhausen. They're a straight ahead rock and roll group too. So, I mean, this is a rock and roll show. We do play some heavier stuff, as does Rockhausen or Angry at Numbers. But they've been around forever. They're a Minneapolis band. They're still playing around a little bit here and there. And we're like, yep, we're bringing them to Fargo. So you're going to get 2 bands. I think for the, again, Live Nation's like, well, we're going to start these tiered seating prices.
Yeah.
We're on the stage, $379, on the sides, $129. And we're like, no. Just like Warrant did on the Blood, Sweat, and Beers tour, we're doing a low dough show. $10 across the board, gets you into the show. Stand wherever you want.
Wow. $10.
Mm-hmm.
Holy shit. It is practically 1991 again. Wow.
It really is. And so what you'll see at this show, Anthony, there will be blood.
Okay.
There will be violence. There will be Satanism. There will be coarse language.
Oh.
I'm not going to lie. The exciting part, though, is if you're familiar with this sovereign citizen movement, Chris Berg is going to be, he's just going to give a little presentation on joining that movement for people who've always been interested in not paying taxes, not having to pay tickets, and basically being your own boss.
Okay. Fun.
Mm-hmm. There's a lot.
That sounds like everything I've always wanted in a concert experience.
Yes. And Stuart, he works for the Minneapolis Glass Company. So if you've got questions on auto glass, window glass, is it time to repair your windows at home? He's going to be more than willing to answer those questions, not just at the meet and greet, but also after the show as well.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, but we are going to do a show. I've already got like a whole thing of stage items. Almost all of them are single use, so that should tell you what's going to happen at the show.
What time should people get there? What time's the music
Sure.
start?
Doors at 8. I think they said Angry at Numbers at 9. So I would guess we'll probably go on around 10:15, 10:30.
Okay.
So give or take a few minutes. Just depends on how fast we can get the crowd in the doors.
Sure.
So, I mean, we don't want, doors are at 8 and people can't get until 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
We want to make sure everyone sees the show.
I don't want it to be like that time I went and saw Kiss and Slaughter and Faster Pussycat and had to miss Slaughter.
Slaughter. Yep. That was Saturday, May 26th, 1990, Anthony.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
I have downstairs in my basement the framed Kiss ad for Hot in the Shade that has that concert date listed on it. So
this is another side question, but do you have the concert poster for David Lee Roth, Cinderella, and Thunder that came to Fargo?
Was it Thunder that came with them?
But here's the deal. Thunder was never on that tour. They were just advertising Thunder.
Okay.
And remember, like 2 months later, Thunder found out that they were being advertised as being on the tour. And like, we were never on that tour.
I was like, I don't remember seeing Thunder.
They were advertised as being on the show, though.
I don't have anything for them, but I was at that show.
Yes, because it was just Cinderella and David. It was a phenomenal show.
Yeah. Yes.
The full horn section and the background singers, and that was a great show.
Oh, yeah, totally. Yeah, that was the first time I ever saw Cinderella. Well, it was the first time I saw Roth too, but anyway, I was there for Cinderella.
So was I.
Such a Cinderella fan. Anyway.
Yeah. Sorry.
No, that's okay. So I am super pumped about number one, we haven't seen each other for a long time.
Too long.
But even before we hit record, we were reminiscing about the old shows and going to see all our Warrant experiences. Jeff has an ultraphobic tattoo.
Oh yeah, let me see. I think I can still drag it up there. Yeah.
There you go. And then I have Stronger Now, and so we were like two of the only people with fucking. There you go. With Warrant related tattoos from the Ultraphobic album, and I've always said those tattoos got us places that a couple guys from North Dakota would have never expected. So.
Yes, and I hope that down the line we do a video, and because some of the stories we were talking about have not been disclosed before. Nothing horrible. But very interesting stories.
Yeah.
As well. So
and I was you did this is kind of funny. Maybe I shouldn't tell it now, but I will.
Go ahead.
When we met and we went to that Kiss tribute band, one of the funniest fucking things ever is our buddy Dave Burnson. We're up front at this tribute band.
Yep.
And the Gene Simmons guy starts doing the blood spitting thing. And our buddy Dave is by this, and he's like the biggest Kiss fan ever. I mean, he's a bigger Kiss fan than I am, and I'm a big Kiss fan. Yep. And he's like just reveling in it, and all this blood and shit falls on him. So we're walking. I remember leaving the venue, and he goes, Gene Simmons spit blood in my mouth. And then he's like, wait a minute. Gene Simmons spit blood in my mouth. It was, I fucking died.
Gene Simmons.
Yeah, and it wasn't Gene Simmons. I don't know who it was.
Yes, I remember that.
It was
yeah.
So, So we are talking about maybe doing a separate video talking about the times that we got to hang out with Warrant. And anyway, so that would be great. I do hope that we set that up. Jeff, it has been awesome hearing the history of the Beowulf Project and I can't wait to see you this Friday. I will try to get this video out, I think, on Wednesday, and I
Perfect.
will be promoting on my social media. So I realize not everybody can make the long trek to
Yep.
Fargo, North Dakota. So for
There's still,
everybody that,
oh
what's
shit.
that?
I'm sorry I talked over you. Did you want to
No,
do?
I was just gonna say for everybody that is local and in the area, and hey, if you want to travel, you can. But hopefully, we get a lot of people from Fargo in to see that show. It sounds like a special event. So great having you on to talk about this concert.
Yeah, and I want to thank you, Anthony. It just blows my mind your success. I'm not surprised by it, but I'm just super fucking impressed by it. So you're doing a great job. Like all the stuff we talked about before the video started. It's just if, like I said, if someone had said to me, "Well, Anthony's doing a YouTube channel and he's the new metal edge," I would be like, "Yep, that sounds about right. That sounds that sounds about right. Yep." So awesome job. Congratulations on the success, man.
Thanks, Jeff. I will see you on Friday. Thanks a
Yep.
lot for coming on, and take care, man. We'll talk to you
Yep.
later.
See you later, man.